News Desk 45 minutes of news about Liberia, Africa, and elsewhere. My name is Henson Decker presenting in the headlines. New Liberian Party National Vice Chair for Political and Governmental Affairs describes the endorsement of President George Weah by the party's stand-up bearer Joshua Tunnel as bogus and a one-man decision. Says the party start will be announced in the coming days for continuously electing warlords at the legislature in Liberia. The Coalition for the Establishment of War and Economic Crimes Code registers disappointment in Liberians, describes the act from the Liberian people as a continuous roadblock for the passage of a bill establishing the War and Economic Crimes Code. Over 25 Liberians obtained certificates in psychosocial counseling from the Precious Pew Ireland Foundation. And in foreign news, the BBC says Israeli forces have pushed deeper into the northern Gaza Strip, with things briefly cutting an evacuation route to the south. And of course, the details of these developments in news bulletin, the foreign development, the voices of the newsmakers are anticipated on today's edition of the news program. We'll take a break to rejoin you.
Anybody getting breakfast?
The news bulletin. Good evening.
Good evening, Henson, and good evening to all. Following the endorsement of President George Weah by the standard bearer of the new Liberian Party, the party's national vice chair for political and governmental affairs has sharply reacted to the decision by their standard bearer. The new Liberian Party's national vice chair for political and governmental affairs, Gonkanu Teni, termed the endorsement of President George Weah by his standard bearer as unconstitutional. According to Teni, the decision by their political leader did not meet the consent of the National Executive Committee members of the party, terming it as a one-man decision which the party has rejected. He noted that the party has now decided to make an official determination as to which one of the two political parties in the presidential runoff to support. Gongano Tenin has meanwhile called on partisans not to be deterred by what he calls a bogus decision from the party's standard bureau, disclosing that modalities are gradually being worked out to announce the side of the party. The Coalition for the Establishment of War and Economic Crime Squad in Liberia has voiced deep concern regarding the outcome of the October 10th, 2023 presidential and legislative elections. Their concerns centered on the election and re-election of major warlords and individuals accused of war and economic crime squad to various levels of the national legislature, comprising 30 pro-democratic organizations, human rights and civil society groups, religious and faith institutions, traditional leaders, as well as women and youth organizations. The coalition has expressed disappointment in the voters' choice. Thus, choices in these elections, particularly concerning the return of individuals accused of war and economic crimes to public offices. In a press conference held following a weekend meeting in Monrovia, the lead campaigner of the coalition, Adama Dempster, highlighted the serious issues arising from the coalition of former warlords into the legislature. He described this as a continual roadblock hindering the passage of a bill aimed at establishing the War and Economic Crime Squad in the country. Dempster emphasized that the election and re-election of these individuals possess the potential to undermine the pursuit of justice, accountability, and the advocacy for instituting a war and economic crime quote in Liberia. The coalition reaffirmed its unwavering commitment to seeking justice and accountability for war victims, survivors, including women and youth who have endured heinous crimes committed by warlords and fighting groups in Liberia. Over 25 Liberians have obtained certificates in psychosocial counseling from the Precious Pearl Ireland Foundation. The institution is in partnership with the Sustainable Empowerment for Economic and Environmental Development. The Precious Pearl Ireland Foundation was established in honor of the late Precious Ireland, who was shot to death by a schoolmate at the Supper School in Concortown. The graduates obtained certificates in various areas to include child protection, child rights, the theory and practice of advocacy, peace building, and conflict studies, among others. Speaking over the weekend at the press, a graduation exercise, Assistant Education Minister at the Bureau of Basic and Secondary Education, Felicia Dosoma, called for the teaching of psychosocial counseling in all schools across the country. According to Assistant Minister Soman, many Liberians are challenged with variety of issues, thoughts resulting to actions that are affecting the public, disclosing that psychosocial counseling is the surest way of mitigating most of the problems. For her part, the founder of the Precious Pearl Ireland Foundation, Rita Ireland, said the institution was established to turn her grief to a situation that will benefit thousands of Liberians. At long last, the administration of Spoon Network Incorporated has finally apologized to the Liberian People's Party vice presidential candidate in the just ended October 10 elections. Spoon Network is in an open statement made via the Spoon Talk over the weekend disclosed that the statements made about the vice standard bearer of the Liberian People's Party, Dr. Emmanuel Yue Yagbawolo, about a week ago was false and that they were sorry for fabricating lies against him. It can be recalled on October 20th of this year, a group of talk show hosts on Spoon Talk radio program called The Spoon Talk alleged that they had a written statement from the office of LPP's VSB that he wrote for party's executive committee. At long last, the administration of Spoon Network that according to the network, the statements were going to lead the party to split that the party's presidential candidate, Councillor Tiawangonglo, was in a big problem with his running mate, Dr. Yakpawulu. Police in Mauritius Farm have arrested 7 persons, including an alleged drug sucker involving a dealer known as Daros for brutalizing several residents, leaving 2 persons unconscious. The 2 unconscious individuals, including a pregnant woman, are reportedly from Moses Town, Bo Clown in Todi district. According to the town chief for the Morris, Daros was arrested by officers for being in possession of harmful drugs in the community. According to Chief Morris, the alleged act on the part of Daros led to the hiring of 50 men by him, whom the town chief described as alleged drug users that forcefully entered the town. In another development, some youths in Goba town are calling on national government to help with the raiding of ghettos in the area. The youths, through Moses Saki, narrated that some of the peers within the town have been addicted to taking in harmful substances, describing the act as a threat to their community. Over 200 residents of District number 17, Monsoda County, have benefited from electricity supply for the first time in the area. The initiative was being made possible through the Gap Communities Electrification Project under the Liberia Electricity Corporation, which affected three communities, including Virginia and Brownsville. Speaking over the weekend during the switching of the lights, President George had appreciated the management of LDC headed by Monica Tan for the electricity supply to the community. President Weah reaffirmed his government's commitment to providing electricity to the citizens of the country. He at the same time acknowledged residents in other parts of the country to exercise patience as the government is determined to make available electricity to every home. For his part, the acting chief executive officer of the Liberia Electricity Corporation, Monica Captain, thanked the national government for the support to LDC, which he said has extended its GAP Communities Electricity Expansion Program to the cities of Virginia and Brownsville, providing electricity to over 2,180 homes and businesses. A representative candidate in the October 10 general elections in District Number 3, Monsoda County, has attributed the backwardness of Liberia's development to the election of individuals on the basis of troubles and personal gains. Jeffrey Thomas described as citing to note that during the just ended elections, majority of the citizens allegedly did not vote candidates who had platforms that could possibly improve the status of the country. He described such alleged acts as undemocracy, and if it is not put to an end, it may hamper the country's progress. Jeffrey Thomas used the occasion to congratulate a winner in District Number 3, Sumo Moruba, for his victory, adding that the will of the people should be respected. The founder of Live Zoe Institute has offered Honduras scholarship to members of the political parties in the country. For Life Vocational School since its operation in Liberia has been training young people into biodigester, electricity, air conditioning and refrigeration, plumbing, satellite installation, computer, among others. According to an executive of the institution, Francis Vanin, this scholarship provided is intended to benefit supporters of the two leading political parties on the just ended elections in the country for the presidency. Vanin stressed that their quest is to see every youth in the country obtains a vocational skill that will make them productive in society. He made a statement recently in Monrovia. Away from Liberia, Israeli forces have pushed deeper into the northern Gaza Strip, with tanks briefly cutting an evacuation route to the south, Palestinian witnesses say. One tank was filmed on Salah ad-Din Road, sparking speculation it could be part of an advance on Gaza City. A video showed a car turning around after approaching the tank, which seems to open fire and destroy aid. Later, Israel's military said a soldier being held hostage by Hamas was rescued in an overnight ground operation. We're Hansen, that's the news bulletin.
Foreign development, the news bulletin. It is a regular feature on the news program. If you are just joining us, one of the top developments we are following for continuously electing warlords at the legislature in Liberia The Coalition for the Establishment of War and Economic Crimes Court registers disappointment in Liberians, describes the art from the Liberian people as a continual roadblock to the passage of a bill establishing the War and Economic Crimes Court. Let's bring you the voices of the newsmakers. Following the endorsement of President George Weah by the standard bearer of the new Liberian Party, the party's national vice chair for political and governmental affairs has sharply reacted to the decision by the standard bearer. The new Liberian Party national vice chair for political and governmental affairs, Gonganun Tenin, termed the endorsement of President Weah by his standard bearer as unconstitutional.
The new Liberal Party to use the official medium to inform the general public that the endorsement of President Weah re-election bid made by the Senate Bearer Dr. Joshua T. Turner yesterday, October 27, 2023, it was unilateral and not the official position statement of our party. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, members of the press, this statement yesterday by the Senate Bearer was illegal, deceptive, and lacked party discipline. In view of the aforementioned, fellow citizens of Liberia, we are calling upon all of our supporters across the 30 political subdivisions of this country to remain kind, and that the party has to come up with any official position as to in the role of who to support. In the soonest possible time, the party will officially make it known to the general public and the Liberian people as to who the party is going to endorse. With that said, members of the National Executive Committee, all of our candidates that contested on our party ticket across the 15 political subdivision, we are calling upon you all and to remain very resilient and kind, and that the statement made by the standard bearer is not our official position. It's diabolical, it is deceptive, and we will not in any way support that.
The voice of the National Vice Chair for Political and Governmental Affairs of the New Liberian Party, Gonganu Teninde, speaking. The Coalition for the Establishment of War and Economic Crimes Court in Liberia has voiced deep concern regarding the outcome of the October 10, 2023 presidential and legislative elections. The concerns center on the election and re-election of major ward laws and individuals accused of war and economic crimes to various levels of the national legislature. Comprising 30 pro-democracy organizations, human rights and civil society groups, religious and faith institutions, traditional leaders, as well as some women and youth organizations, the coalition has expressed disappointment in the voters' decision, particularly concerning the return of some individuals accused of war and economic crimes to public offices. In a press conference over the weekend, the lead convener of the coalition, Adam Dempster, highlighted the serious issues arising from the election of former warlords into the legislature. Over 25 Liberians have obtained certificates in psychosocial counseling from the Precious Ireland Foundation. A reporter attended the ceremony and passed this report. To help address issues which have caused mental problems, especially for the younger generation who are seen in the streets as drug addicts. The psychosocial counseling institution, the Precious Ireland Foundation, in honor of the late Precious Ireland, has graduated its first batch. Accordingly, Liberians, mostly the younger generation, are often seen involved into acts that are counterproductive to societal norms, a situation that has been criticized by the public. From all indications, the acts have been attributed to many reasons to include economic hardship, relationship factor, depression, among others. Felicia Dosuman is Assistant Education Minister, Bureau of Basic and Secondary Education, serving as guest speaker at the first graduation exercise.
About the need for counseling in our country. As counselors today, which will so be pronounced as when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. When life throws you stones, you know, stone out. So I have to do some kind of soul searching, kind of real talk, because we won't just passing around the book moving as if all is well. See people with makeup on and looking so good. Under there, it's like a bit of better soup. The top is cold. Under there, it's scorching hot.
Rita Rose Ireland is the founder of the Precious Pew Ireland Foundation. With these words out of courage,
allow us to give you to turn a previous situation into a situation that can benefit many. It's our prayer that all work together in this collaboration to ensure our children's safety. Once that is done, that brings us joy. The foundation, we are concerned about the safety and well-being of children.
Evelyn Palasikwi is a renowned Liberian journalist giving her experience out of the country.
For us who are journalists, we interview people, and we hear stories. And sometimes when you tell this, the first story, just like listening, you leave and get traumatized. But there's nobody to talk to. I went to Niger to document Liberians, Ghanaians, Nigerians traveling to go to Europe because they want greener pasture. I did an interview. I went home that night very traumatized, seeing a young Ghanaian who broke his legs. He fell from a truck, everybody counting, and the driver rewards rather than going in for an assessment that leg. He went back home, repatriated by our end, and then his leg is off.
Elizabeth Cassier is the Sustainable Empowerment for Economic and Environmental Development Executive Director.
Most of us don't know what it means to sit and counsel our children, and today our children are going way more. How many of us today are aware in this particularly that the most developing everybody wants like this period of adolescence? Somebody at 21 years. In Nigeria, when young men and women will start making decisions as to what they want to do, searching for their identity. But encourage the minister of education just to join the honorable president that I pray that the teaching of the children's law, including the thorough body for the National Commission rights of the child, and really all schools in this country.
Here is former Liberia Police Inspector General Colonel Chris Masakwe.
Kids coming from foster homes, children coming from homes are incapable, parents are incapable of helping their own kids as a result of the struggling economic situation that we are being faced with in Liberia. It is for a lot of reasons. And considerate in trying to understand the background of children that could go loose. And sometimes we refer to them as locals, etc. You are very asked, as I said, to make a few remarks today. But all I have to say to the young graduates is to be able to.
Liberia being a country that is engulfed with politics instead of giving attention to areas or sectors that are damaging the fabric of the society may have a dumb society if immediate and appropriate actions are not taken. Today, many Liberians are seen walking in street corners with various life issues resulting to societal condemnations, with little or no attention given to ascertain the causes of those problems. From the Precious Pew Ireland Foundation for RCL News, this is Hansen Decker reporting. Police in Morris's farm have arrested 7 persons, including an alleged drug saga involving a dealer known as Daros for brutalizing several residents, leaving 2 persons unconscious. The 2 unconscious individuals, including a pregnant woman, are reportedly from Moses Town, Oakland, to the district. According to the town chief for the Morris, Daros was arrested by officers for being in possession of harmful drug in the community.
What we've done is broke down people entering here with drugs. So we're falling,
Moses is the town chief of Oakland there. We sincerely apologize for that, except over 200 residents of District 70 Mansourata County have benefited from electricity supply for the first time in the area. The initiative was being made possible through the Gap Communities Electrification Project under the Liberia Electricity Corporation, which affected three communities, including Virginia and Broadville. Speaking over the weekend during the switching of the lights, President George Weah appreciated the management of LEC headed by Money Captain for the electricity supply to the community.
People probably all day occasion. First of all, I want to say to all of you, I want to thank you. We came from the process, we went to an election. Our country is safe, our country is peaceful. I want to thank all of you. Only time again, I want to thank you and your team from NC. You know, when you believe in someone, you believe in that person, you have to make sure that you show faith in that person. When it's up there, I've known you since I was young, very young. And when we decided that we were looking for a diligent person to help us to lighten our cities and our towns and our districts and what have you, because I know your dedicated person, the cartel, I know you're part of better things. So our families and friends and the community will be happy to have the community like this. I did not make a mistake when I saw there were so many partners and presidents. You have monitored the tribe, but let us try our own and we go you forward. That night, you and your team, I knew that you were the best team. So I want to thank you for putting a smile on our people. People of Glory, as I always say there, life is not easy. So if you get your responsibility, you have to take some time to do things straight by straight. I know more people want electricity. And today, we make the money come down more than 1,000 like today. And then we're going to continue to do so most of our time and community to have electricity.
For his part, the acting chief executive officer of the Liberia Electricity Corporation, Monique Captain, thanked the national government for the support to LEC, which he said has extended its GAP communities electricity expansion program to the cities, providing electricity to over 2,180 homes and businesses.
We are here today to show you that the president mandate that he gave us to bring electricity to this district, we have done so. So we are happy to let you know that we have fulfilled the president promise and we are going to continue because we are not finished. With the president, so far we have connected 2,100 and we are going to continue because we still have over 1,000 more homes to connect. So for those of you who are waiting patiently for the getting to you, because the time is spent, Mr. President, I want to call the team in LEC that was responsible to get this project done. Planning and engineering team, please come forward so the president can see you all. We want to say a special thank you. See, these are all young Liberian engineers. They designed this project and implemented it. And we also have among them, we have female engineers. Where's our female engineer? Please step forward. Thank you to the team for a job well done. Thank you very much. We want to say a special thank you for all of the support that you have been providing to the Liberian electricity. Without your support, we cannot achieve the successes that we have been able to achieve. So as a small token of our appreciation, we have a t-shirt made for you with the inscription, I love LEC.
Monique Captain is the acting chief executive officer of the Liberia Electricity Corporation. Ada was the voice of President George Weah. So, well, folks, if you are just joining us, a reminder of the top developments we are following on today's edition of the news program. News Desk New Liberian Party National Vice Chair for Political and Governmental Affairs describes the endorsement of President George Weah by the party's standard bearer Joshua Tunod as bookers, and a one-man decision says the party's will be announced in the coming days. For continuously electing warlords at the legislature in Liberia, the Coalition for the Establishment of War and Economic Crimes Code registers disappointment in Liberians, describes the act from the Liberian people as a continual roadblock to the passage of a bill establishing the War and Economic Crimes Code. Over 25 Liberians obtained certificates in psychosocial counseling from the Precious Ireland Foundation. And in foreign news, the BBC says Israeli forces have pushed deeper into the northern Gaza Strip, with things briefly cutting an evacuation route to the south. Let's continue with more developments on the news program. At long last, the administration of Spoon Network Incorporated has finally apologized to the Liberian People's Party vice presidential candidate in the just ended October 10th elections. Spoon Network, in an open statement made via the Spoon Talk over the weekend, disclosed that the statements made about the vice standard bearer of the Liberian People's Party, Dr. Emmanuel Yakwaulu, about a week ago was false, and that they were sorry for fabricating lies against him.
To all of our viewers, I want to say on behalf of the management of Spoon TV, Spoon Talk, and all of the media establishments that are associated with us, we want to apologize and retract the false and defamatory allegations that were made against Mr. Yaparo Yuri on the show. I just want to show that we got taken care of. Sorry, the house Spoon Talk is really busy. So, Dr. Yaparo Yuri, we are retracting our comments and to apologizing to you. Yes. So I hope he gets that and hears that.
Dr. Frances Chinoway Richardson is the lead panelist of the Spoon Talk there, speaking on behalf of the institution. A representative candidate in the October 10th general elections in District 3 Mansourati County has attributed the backwardness of Liberia's development to election of individuals on the basis of tribal lines and personal gains. Jeffrey Thomas described as saddening to note that during the just ended elections, majority of the citizens allegedly did not vote candidates who had platforms that could possibly improve the status of the country.
The way I look at politics in this country is heavily tribalist. People do not vote here based on issues. They do not vote here based on policy. No. Some people vote merely because this man is my tribal man. I'm going with him. No matter what you preach to that man, once he knows that the other man is from his tribe, and that's the man he's going to support, you're going to see that. It's not about who qualifies, who can do the job. No, we're very unprofessional and going to damage this country. My brother, ethnic things is very dangerous. We need to try every means to avoid that. In a civilized society, we need not to make decisions based on ethnicity. One of the problems, the mindset of our people has to change. Other than that, my brother, it's going to be a difficult situation because the understanding is the problem. You may preach the message, but our people here, they believe in what they can get now. Believe that a lawmaker should bring caterpillar on the road to create a road. A lawmaker should be able to go build bridges here and there. That's not the responsibility of the lawmaker. But because they have been programmed and teleguided about that, they believe that a lawmaker should be able to do that. And that's not the responsibility of a lawmaker. Until our people can understand the functions of lawmakers, then of course it's going to be very difficult. These are some of the problems that make us lose the election. The mindset. Because our people believe that when you want to be a lawmaker, you must do for them before you are elected. But those are all for corruption. They're not understanding that. I'm frustrated. I am frustrated. I'm really frustrated because our people are not educated because they are not educated. They are not making informed decisions or they are not making sound decisions.
What do you think the electorates nowadays should be focusing on in future elections?
What we need to do is we need to educate our people on how to go about selecting their leaders. Election is not about $1 that's given to anybody today. Election is about the future. We need to be able to elect people that will be able to introduce policies that will help this country to move this country forward.
I do not worry. And we future accept the result.
Yes, I accept the result. I have no qualm. I'm not deterred. I will sit here openly and say I stand congratulatory message to the winner of this election, which is Sumo Moba, and I'm willing to work with him.
Jeffrey Thomas is defeated Mansourati County District 3 representative candidate there speaking. The founder of Alive Zoo Institute has offered 100 scholarships to members of the political parties in the country. Alive Vocational School, since its operation in Liberia, has been training young people into biodigester, electricity, air conditioning, and refrigeration, plumbing, satellite installation, and computer, among others. According to an executive of the institution, Francis Vanning, The scholarship provided is intended to benefit supporters of the two leading political parties from the just ended elections in the country for the presidency.
So we told was to give it to the ruling party and CDC because they are to the further stage and their supporters going to benefit and listen to their party win the election. They do not have any benefit. No matter when I was supporting this party, I heard the radio. There was a Congress council given to us. That person they see us on the memorial. That's why we want to we want the young people that they can have reach to that stage of education because so the party going to receive 100 and then cities. We are not the only institution. For this year, I'm giving close to 5 scholarship. I gave a span. I think horrible one country made for this year. Only can people are getting 50 scholarships. It's one of those politicians sponsored 13% to our school. I said, no, it doesn't make a sponsor 13% for life. I will not give him 50 in return. So it's not only these two political parties have been given to other political parties that have been in the area. After the election process is finished, we got additional 200 scholarships because we don't want a youth that will be born. We don't want a youth that we sing the battle cry before he or she will see job. We want a youth that can say, to go ahead with what you can do, but this is my state. You can only have a state where you have some $5 on you, but if that person now cannot sit there and 3,000 to 4,000 years in the government job, if no, this way, then you must start pushing logic instead of party sentiment. So that's the things we are concerned about. So with that, the only way we help as an institution is to provide education for them. If that means any money, please get it. The ratio of development in Liberia for the past 5 years have increased. Things increase now. People are building houses, people are doing things, they need electrician, and LC is gradually moving from one counties to another. They need people. One of our electrical graduates, most of them are now working for LC. That's why we want in Liberia. You cannot boast about $31 just a company for life. That's why we want in Liberia. We don't want to talk to Liberia where you have to talk about politics before you receive job. You have to turn battle cry before you receive job. One of the people cannot sit down and push logic. We cannot choose Liberia over anybody. Just the Liberia world.
Francis Fanning is the founder of Live So There. Speaking well, folks, that's all the time we have to be with you on today's edition of News Desk. As we take leave of you, these are the top stories we have been following. New Liberian Party National Vice Chair for Political and Governmental Affairs described the endorsement of President George Weah by the party's tender-bearer Joshua Tuna as bookers, and a one-man decision says the party's side will be announced in the coming days. For continuously electing warlords at the legislature in Liberia, the Coalition for the Establishment of War and Economic Crimes Code registers disappointment in Liberians, describes the act from the Liberian people as a continual roadblock to the passage of a bill establishing the War and Economic Crimes Code. Over 25 Liberians obtained certificates in psychosocial counseling from the Precious Ireland Foundation. And in foreign news, the BBC says Israeli forces have pushed deeper into the northern Gaza Strip, with things briefly cutting an evacuation route to the south. Thanks to our correspondents, writers, reporters, editors, those who helped in making today's edition of the news program a success. Oliver Bound read for us the news bulletin, the foreign development. Johnson Batoma able coordinated the sound. My Tobian sat behind the camera and at the same time coordinated this entire production for and on behalf of the news program. My name is Hansen Decker. Good evening.
When it comes to communication in Liberia, Orange is number one.
Orange is the best!
Orange is the best.
Oh, Orange!
is the best.
Orange is the best.
Strongest network, widest coverage,
Orange is the best.
fastest internet speed.
Orange is the best.
People, orange is the best.
Yes.
Orange is the best.
Lama kitia na ratama please woo. Company gini that's the boga orange top baga number 1 so we need
Company sita ma orange around got the best.
Orange will more you the telephone on phone.
Reliable, trusted, and dependable.
Orange is about 7. Yeah, orange is
Orange is the best.
It's all about what matters to you. Orange.
Orange.
Let me make sure I got all the sanitary items I need. I'm checking my list. Oh yes, one more item. Let me have a big bottle of Dettol, yeah, across the board.
Yes, it. The total amount is 3,000 LD.
Okay, let me give you your money. Hey, my people, I can't find my purse. Lola, I left it on my kitchen table. My husband is rushing me too much. What's I'll do now?
Don't worry, Costa Homo. You can pay with your phone. Here's the code here on the wall.
Awesome. Yes, I do have money on my phone.
With Orange Money, making payments for goods at your favorite store with your merchant is as easy as ABC. Dial *144#, select currency, select pay with Orange Money, and follow the instructions. With Orange Money, life is easier. No stress.